It's a famine mentality.
In the 1800s, a famine came, attacked our yields, laid waste to our staple meal, and erased our fields. When all felt the plight from potato blight, some stayed and died, while some others took flight to foreign shores to build a new life under foreign laws, but never lost a fight. So acclimatized to war, a situation like our harvest was rotten to the core. Cause observation racing through a nation of the poor. All the hunger and disease increased with the disease, from the north to the south and the west to the east. Four corners of a land in despair with hunger. It was hell in Ulster, Leinster and Munster, and Connacht too. Got in a horcha, ni beer Aaron Toblin, ni land in a saucer. Vi winch on the heron in the arch of Forsuck. We're still victims of a famine mentality, the harsh reality of a nation's plight that spanned generations since potato blight sent so many of our people to Almighty Christ. We're still victims of a famine mentality, the harsh reality of a nation's plight that spanned generations since potato blight sent so many of our people to Almighty Christ. When the people left our land to flee the famine, they landed on shores where they had to be examined. Whole families divided into healthy and sick cause of infections on the coffin ships. Large numbers of deaths on the ocean waves led to mass burials in their frozen graves. No memorials or tombs, just a sense of doom. Bodies cast into the waters in a huge volume, and when they reached their destination, some wish they had died so they could meet the loved ones on the other side. Some mothers and wives, some children and brothers, and most likely dozens of others succumbed to the aftermath of the hunger, cause most died after that. And I wonder, could something have been done to prevent the damage from the time that our country was totally ravaged? But now it's like this. We're still victims of a famine mentality, the harsh reality of a nation's plight that spanned generations since potato blight sent so many of our people to Almighty Christ. We're still victims of a famine mentality, the harsh reality of a nation's plight that spanned generations since potato blight sent so many of our people to Almighty Christ. For a holy nation there was no salvation, the choices were death or emigration. Only easy to make them if your family was taken by the claws of death, as they lost their breath in a shrunken frame. Stereotypical Irish, we're a drunken shame all across the globe, and all through it all we never lost our hope. Washed off memories like soap but never learned to cope. So you wonder why we drink, is to ease the pain. It's only generations since our fields were plain, except for rotten vegetation and bodies that were waiting to be buried. Our religion didn't practice cremation. Tall got the got dinner and knew it was a morok. That's right, we're all living in the I'm Shalorok. Nero Shiga my Hamorok, but Tom Winch and the Heron and Dini Dove on Norfolk. We're still victims of a famine mentality, the harsh reality of a nation's plight that spanned generations since potato blight sent so many of our people to Almighty Christ. We're still victims of a famine mentality, the harsh reality of a nation's plight that spanned generations since potato blight sent so many of our people to Almighty Christ.
It's a famine mentality.